Good afternoon. It is Sunday, March 21st, 2021, the first day of spring and day 61 of the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris presidency, and this is your news blurb. So the left likes to come off as these social justice warriors who are fighting against racism, violence, bigotry, and hatred, yet they are not really fighting against racism, violence, bigotry, or hatred. They are fighting against opposing ideals. They are using extreme assumptions of racism, violence, bigotry, and hatred to squash out opposing ideals by making every discussion overly extreme and overly emotional. For instance, if I were to tell a Democrat, of course I love dogs, but some of them are sure messy, they would respond with, "You hate dogs, you're anti-dog, you want to murder puppies in their sleep." This concept is becoming increasingly more evident when it comes to Democrats and their love for citing white supremacy in anything and everything they feel like including it in. According to them, white supremacy is the epidemic that is feeding our country with violence and hatred, even though literally nothing supports this argument. There are no statistics to support this argument, there is no evidence to support this argument, and there is no just cause to support any of this rhetoric whatsoever. There is no epidemic. To show you just how off from basic statistics and common sense the left actually is, this is straight from the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Statistics. Now, if you notice, this is percentage of violent incidents by victim and offender race or ethnicity, and this is from 2018. In this column, you have the race or ethnicity of the victim, and in these columns, you have the race or ethnicity of the offender with a percentage and a total number of incidents. Now, obviously, the total number of incidents for white is much higher because there is more of a percentage of white people in America than there is any other race. But the interesting parts of this are all of these columns here. Now, the left would have you believe that there is a massive epidemic of white on black crime and white on any minority crime, Hispanic, Asian, because white supremacy, white nationalism, white extremism. There should be a very large percentage of crime when the victim is black, Hispanic, and Asian, and the offenders are white. Those numbers should be high. Well, obviously, when you look at this, the truth is much different. When you're looking at this, the obvious thing to first point out is most of the crime happens within each race, as in white on white crime, 62%, black on black crime, 70%, Hispanic on Hispanic crime, 45%. Those numbers even out a little bit. And the numbers for Asians actually even out a good amount, whereas Asian on Asian crime, black on Asian crime, white on Asian crime is actually around the same. But it's definitely not anywhere near the numbers of what the left, the Democrats, would like to portray to you. This epidemic of white supremacy rolling across America. Obviously, all the Trump supporters, and they're just going out and being violent towards any minority that they can, because obviously Trump is a racist, right? And all of his people are racist. All of his people, his followers, they're all white supremacists, right? Is that the point? There is literally no numbers to support any of this argument whatsoever. There is no argument. It's just a statement. And just because you make a statement or have an opinion doesn't mean it's true. That's all I got. Yep, that's all I got.